If the end of the day is the best for you, then the end of the day is the best for you. You ain't got to listen to everybody that says wake up early. You ain't even a fucking morning person.
Always say something. A prize, motherfucker.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's going on, everybody? As we all know, mental health is a huge piece for me. And recently, as I become a better version of myself, I've decided that it's time for me to go to therapy. Because I understand how life can be a little overwhelming, and we all need help navigating through the trenches of military service in and out of uniform. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, all you got to do is go to their site. Matter of fact, you can use my link right here. Answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you with a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call or video chat or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You will be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours so you can get started fast. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your home. Visit betterhelp.com/MeechSpeaks and enjoy a special discount on your first month.
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of the Talkin Crazy podcast. Now, before we get started with this podcast, don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and leave this podcast an honest review, because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. Hey, man, look, I don't know who need to hear this, but I'm going to just ask a question real quick, and I just need you to be completely honest with me, okay? Because we know that Monday is the first Monday of the year, okay? We both know that, all right? Did you really make a New Year's resolution on Wednesday? Did you? I'm not going to say anything if you did or if you didn't, you know what I mean? But what I am about to ask you, though, is that on Thursday, did you start your New Year's resolution? And don't lie. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing that I had to take into consideration, because on Wednesday, I'm going to just be completely honest. You can say what you want about me, but on Wednesday, I made a New Year's resolution. You know, when the clock struck 12, I made a New Year's resolution. I promised that this is what I'm going to be doing for this upcoming 2025 season. I said that. Now, I also took into consideration that we in a fucking Wednesday. All right. Nobody is making any changes on a fucking Wednesday, bro. Like, I'm gonna just be completely honest, man. Like, I don't care how this sounds. Nobody is making any fucking changes on a Wednesday. Like, really? Like, in the middle of the week, I'm gonna start getting my shit together? Come on now. In the middle of the week, I'm gonna make better decisions? Come on. In the middle of the week, that's when I decide that this is my moment? No. We still got Thursday. You feel me? I'm kind of sluggish going into Thursday. And you really think that I'm going to get my act together on Friday, right before the weekend, knowing that the next day is Saturday? No. These piss poor decisions, still at an all-time high. My bad diet, still at an all-time high. You know what I mean? My work ethic, still at an all-time low. So Friday, still had the exact same mentality. Saturday, still had the exact same mentality, but Sunday is when I realized I need to get my shit together. And if you're like me, you more than likely probably went to the grocery store. You went and grabbed all the chicken breasts, all right? You don't went and grabbed the ground turkey. Got a little seasoning because you know that shit gonna be dry. Got some rice, you feel me? Maybe you were about to get into content creating. You probably already on Amazon looking at the best mic. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you really want to do it, go ahead and do it. You already got your ring light. Maybe you want to start going to school. You looking at your subjects. The winter season is coming up. You're already making those preparations. That probably already happened on Sunday. And now here it is, Monday, and it's execution time. Now, statistically speaking, everybody that makes a New Year's resolution usually will quit by January 10th. It's actually known as National Quitters Day. I didn't know that. I actually looked it up. But one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people tend to fall short on their New Year's resolutions is because they tend to come in it at the wrong way. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. As a person that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary, I'm going to say I want you to make a New Year's resolution. I want you to execute. I want you to achieve those goals. I want you to be able to knock those out the park. And I would be remiss right now if I said, go ahead and do this, and I didn't give you a plan to be able to do that. So with that being said, this episode is all about making sure that your New Year's resolution actually happens and continues past January 10th, all the way into Easter, all the way into fucking summer, all the way down until we say 2026. Let's go ahead and get started with this episode. All right, so let's talk about why New Year's resolutions tend to fail. All right, first things first, a lot of y'all come into the situation already overloading with the ambitions. You feel me? You have this big ambition about what you want to do for the new year. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But you got this big ambition, but you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do. You got this big ambition about how you about to lose weight by the end of the summer. You about to go ahead and get your bachelor's degree by the end of the year. You about to break generational curses. You done overloaded your plate. Stomach this big. If this was a pool, you didn't start at the shallow end, work your way down. You said, nah, I'm going to walk all the way to the end, climb up to the high dive. I'm jumping straight in. If I can swim, I can swim. And if I can't, then I'm going to drown. That is terrible. That's a terrible idea because a lot of these things are new to you. You feel me? A lot of these things are new. And when you overload the ambition, right? Like when you overload your ambition, you will eventually get tired of doing it. You're going to get burnt out from doing it. Good examples. You starting to go to the gym. So because now you want to go to the gym, you done changed your whole fucking wardrobe. You done went and bought all the damn gym clothes. You done changed your whole fucking diet. All right. You done bought shit that you know you don't even like, but you like, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? You done bought all the gear. You done paid for the top tier fucking membership. And now you about to go into it. But this is the thing though, is that you gave yourself all of it at one point. You didn't even give yourself a chance to even get used to it, to know whether or not you like that, to figure out exactly what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So now you wearing clothes that you definitely don't even like. You got a gym membership that you definitely can't even work with. You got all of these things and it ain't working. You wanted to start fucking content creating. You said to yourself, you know what? I'm going to buy the ring light. I'm going to buy the top tier fucking microphone. I don't know what the fuck this thing does, but I'm going to go ahead and buy it anyway. I'm going to get the best laptop. And that right there should be motivation in order for me to continue to keep moving forward. But this is the thing. You don't know how to work that laptop. You don't know how to work that processor. The light, you don't even know exactly which way you want to angle it yet. This mic, you don't know exactly how you're supposed to use that mic. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but at the exact same time, when you tend to overload your plate and you ain't got the appetite for it, you're going to really fall short and you're going to waste that. So when you start a New Year's resolution, bro, like when you start a New Year's resolution, you got to start slow and then work your way up. You got to start at the fucking shallow end and then work your way to the deep end. You got to work your way into it. That's why we got 12 months. You working your way into it. You're learning what works best for you. You're making your plans. You're scratching out certain things. You're not jumping straight on in because you have no idea exactly what it does or what works best for you. You're starting slow and then building up. That's usually why a lot of people end up failing. Now, another reason why a lot of people end up failing for their New Year's resolution is because they think motivation is going to carry them for the next 365 days. They think motivation is going to be the thing that's going to carry them for the next 12 months. You think that motivation that you had on January 1st, 2005 is going to be the exact same motivation that you have December 31st, 2025. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not how this works. All right. Motivation is the thing to get you started. It is not the thing that's going to help you finish. All right. Motivation will get you started, but discipline is the thing that's going to help you finish. All right. And then you got to find discipline and pair that with consistency. That's what's going to help you finish. But if you think that motivation, like you really think that motivation is going to be the thing that helps you through those tough times, I promise you right now, it's not going to work out. You feel me? Because on January 1st, shit was going good for you. You know what I mean? January 2nd, things are going good. As you start to incorporate these new habits, these new life-changing things within your life, you feel me? You also got to take into consideration, you're going to have bad days. Things ain't going to work in your favor. It's going to be a lot of more rainy days. And I've said this in the last episode. You got to prepare for more bad days than good days. And I promise you, motivation is almost fucking cowardly because when the bad days are there, motivation ain't nowhere to be fucking found. It's usually in the back. You feel me? Motivation only come around when there's good days. You feel me? Discipline, however, discipline will be there throughout it. Discipline's going to wake you up in the morning. Discipline will be the thing that's going to remind you like, hey, don't forget now, you still got to record. Hey, don't forget now, you still got to study. Hey, don't forget now, you still got this goal. Consistency comes from doing it every single day. Consistency will build. A good example, man, and I always applaud him for this, man, because it really just speaks a testament to his overall character. A good friend of mine, Tay Moody. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen him before. He's been on the show. And he just posted, I think it's 6 years or 9 years of his sobriety. He said that how many years ago on January 1st? That was a New Year's resolution. And he's been able to maintain that. Now, I bet you right now, if you asked him, how many bad days did you have? How many days did you feel like you wanted to have a drink? How many days did you feel like you wanted to do this? He'll tell you. You feel me? He's going to tell you. But the thing is that the motivation that he had to make the decision came with the discipline. Let me rephrase that. The motivation that he had to be able to make the decision was paired with the discipline. There it is right there. He was paired with the discipline to be able to carry him to this point right here. So I always applaud him for that. There are so many people that make big changes on January 1st, but they let that motivation go and they rely on that discipline. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't want your New Year's resolution to fall short, let that motivation shit go on January 1st and start applying some discipline. Don't overload your plate. You feel me? Work your way into this because this is still new. So now that we know how most resolutions tend to fail, all right, let's talk about how to make them work. And I will say this because I said it earlier, but I'm going to really dive into it. You got to start small. Just like with the pool analogy, I'm not starting at the fucking deep end, climbing all the way up, jumping in, knowing damn well I can't swim. No, I'm starting in the shallow end. I'm getting my rhythm. I'm getting my mechanics down. And then as I build some comfortability with it, I'm going to work my way to the deep end. You feel me? I'm not about to do a sink or swim when it comes to this. A good example is when I first started podcasting. When I first started podcasting, and even when I said that I'm going to take podcasting serious, I started small and I built my way up until this point right here. When I first started podcasting, I did not go out and buy the top microphones. I did not even have a fucking laptop. A ring light? Absolutely not. All I had was an Android phone and a gaming headset, bro. All I had was a fucking gaming headset, and I was kicking that shit. I was kicking that shit in a closet, spitting nothing but heat. Toilet paper all around me. And as I built up rhythm, comfortability, I built up some consistency with it. I had discipline. This became second nature for me. That's when I started to buy the processor, the laptop, the ring lights, the microphones. I started to upgrade so that way it made sense. So my equipment started to match my passion. That's what it looks like when you start small. Even when I go to the gym, I don't immediately start trying to do a PR. You feel me? I'm not lifting the heaviest thing. I'm getting my body used to this. You know, I'm getting my body used to this. And the reason why is because when you start small, you build up that appetite for it. If you try to come in trying to do level 10 shit, knowing damn well you level 1, guess what, bro? You gonna quit. I promise you gonna quit because reality sucks sometimes. And when it finally hits you, them bad days, and you got this heavy burden that you know that you got to knock out later, you're not about to do that. You're not going to. Next, work with your routine. And I don't know who need to hear this, but a lot of y'all create these New Year's resolutions and y'all forcefully inject them into y'all lives. You know what I mean? Like you force the New Year's resolution onto yourself. Like you're like, hey, we got to knock this out. We got to do this. And you completely disregard the routine that you already have set for your life. A good example. Some of y'all wake up early in the morning. Your mornings are already fucking chaotic. And you said that, you know what? I'm going to start going to the gym in the mornings as well. And then you let everybody on social media and everybody in your friend groups tell you that, oh, well, if you truly want it, you're going to make it happen. I'm going to just be the first one to just tell you this, bro. And I don't know who need to hear this. If you try to add something to something that was already chaotic, you're going to do process of elimination. And you're going to realize that, hey, I got to take care of this. This can happen another time. And that can happen another time was your New Year's resolution. All right. If you already have a chaotic morning, add the resolution, add the goal somewhere where it's not going to interrupt the routine already. Work with your routine. If my mornings are good and they're able for me to be able to go to the gym, then guess what? I'm going to add that in there. All right. Good example. When I worked at the Mace, when I was in Virginia, I already added my New Year's resolution into that. I already added going to the gym early in the morning because I knew what time my day started. And I knew that I had those hours to spare. I knew damn well that I wasn't going to be able to do this at the end of the workday. Not when my body's tired, not when I'm ready to go home, not when we've already closed out the day. Absolutely not. But I know for a fact that I could come in early and take care of business. I know that. When I started creating content, I already knew when's the best time for me to do this. I started creating content when I was in the fleet. I knew that I would have 2 hours on lunch. So during those 2 hours, guess what I'm about to knock out? I'm going to knock out some content real quick. I already wake up early. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a quick video, edit it while I'm on chow, drop it while I'm walking back to work. I say that, man, because a lot of y'all, man, like you're going to fail. You're going to put that resolution. You're going to put that goal on the back burner because you're trying to force it into your routine instead of just applying it to a space that you already have available. You know, if the end of the day is the best for you, then the end of the day is the best for you. You ain't got to listen to everybody that says wake up early. You ain't even a fucking morning person. Stay up late. You know you want to go to bed. Stop making it harder for yourself to achieve your goal and just go ahead and add it into it. You got to be able to do what's best for you. And I don't know who need to hear this, but you got to do what's best for you. Next, accountability. And I don't know who need to hear this, but accountability will always fucking matter, especially when you're trying to accomplish something. A good example of having accountability, you got to let people know that you're about to do this. I know people say make moves in silence. You want me to tell you why you want to make moves in silence? Is because either A, people going to hate on you, or B, they're going to call you out for not accomplishing what you were supposed to. That's usually why. But if you truly want to have accountability, you let people know like, hey, I'm starting to do this. And what's going to happen is that when you're not doing it, they're going to ask about it. Or they're going to check in with you and be like, hey, how's this been going? You ain't about to come out as a liar, right? You ain't about to say like, I ain't been doing this, right? You got to continue to keep moving. Or have people that are already doing this. You know, good example. If you want to start going to the gym, have people that go to the gym around you. If you want to start going to school, have people that are already going to school around you. They going to ask you, hey, man, like, I know this sucks, man. I got a paper too, so I'm going to knock this out. If you want to start creating content, start talking to people that create content. They going to tell you, dog, like, they going to give you best practices. You know, I remember I was talking to somebody, he dropped like a casual gem on me that I wasn't even implementing. He was talking about like, hey, man, Meech, I know you do batch records. I was like, what? I don't know what the fuck is that? He was like, you know, when you record a whole bunch of videos at one point and then you drop it. I'm like, bro, I'm creating one and done and walking out. But that was a gem for me. Having accountability and surrounding yourself around people that are doing what you're already doing will amplify the goal. All right. It'll amplify the success of the goal. All right. And I cannot stress that enough. If you surround yourself around people, and this is a no-brainer to everybody that already knows, but if you surround yourself around people that ain't doing shit, then guess what? You're not going to be doing shit. But if you surround yourself around people that are doing shit, that are doing something, then guess what you're going to be doing? Something. And it's a no-brainer. Next, and I don't know who needs to hear this. Accountability means nothing if you're not going to celebrate your fucking wins. All right. I'll say that again. Accountability means nothing if you're not even going to celebrate your wins. When we think of accountability, we always sit there and say, hey, man, you got to make sure that you're not doing anything wrong. If you fuck up, you got to be the first one to say something to yourself. But this is the thing, though. Accountability also goes into celebrating your wins as well. OK, you got to be able to take a step back and say, hey, you did that. Hey, when you had a bad day, you still showed up. Hey, even though you wanted to quit, you still did it. Hey, despite how many times you said you didn't want to do this anymore, you still fucking did it. Good job to you. If you are not going to celebrate yourself and you're going to say that you're going to be accountable, you're not being fucking accountable. You're just being mean to yourself. All right. And I'll say that again. If you're not going to celebrate yourself while trying to be accountable and you're only just going to talk about what you've done wrong, then guess what? You're not actually being accountable. You're just being mean to yourself. And guess what you're going to end up doing? You're going to end up fucking quitting. So now that I've already talked about why they fail and I've talked about how to ensure they succeed, let's talk about things that have caused them to derail. The first one, comparison. I don't know who need to hear this. You at fucking level 1. All right? You at level 1. All right? If you say that you're going to start doing something, you ain't never done it, and guess what? You at level fucking 1. Don't walk into the room, start comparing yourself to people who at level 100, who already maxed it out, who are already at the end game, who already have been doing this for years. You don't know their journey. You don't know how long they've been doing this. You don't know what trials they done had to overcome. But you sitting there thinking to yourself that you would never be like them because you ain't like them right now. And that shit just does not make sense to anybody. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to throw some rationality back at yourself when you start to be irrational, okay? And I say that because a lot of times, man, when you start something new, it's very easy to look at somebody who has been doing this and say that you will never be like this, or to say, when am I going to get like this, or to say, why am I not like this? Not realizing that they've been doing this for years and you've only been doing this for hours. When I first started podcasting, I used to feel so insecure. I used to feel so fucking insecure about my setup. I knew I had a gaming setup with the mic down. I knew that I had a phone. I knew that I was kicking heat, though. I knew I was kicking heat. But there was still this certain level of insecurity when I would come around other content creators or other streamers. I remember doing an episode with Austin Alexander. Now, if y'all already know who Austin is, you know that he's been streaming, creating content for how many years? You know what I mean? I had just started. And here I am on this man's show, and I'm also doing an episode with him. And I'm looking around. We not in a closet. We in a fucking room. He ain't got a gaming headset. He got mics. He ain't got a phone. He got cameras. And I'm getting insecure. You feel me? I'm getting insecure. And this is the thing is that when you let that insecurity build up, right? Like when you let that shit build up, that's going to debunk you. That's going to take you off your game. You ain't going to be kicking that heat like you should, though. You know? And I had to take a step back and ask myself, you've been doing this for a couple of days, Demetrius. He's been doing this for a couple of years. That same thing that I said in the very beginning. He started off slow and worked his way up. He started at the shallow end and worked his way into the deep end. You are currently at the shallow end. Do not let comparison rob you of your progress. Do not let comparison rob you of your joy. Do not let comparison rob you of your overall vision for what you have for yourself. Next, and I will say this, don't let people's negative opinion dictate your actions. And I'll say that, man, because a lot of times when we start something new that does not align with everybody else around us, they negative opinion will derail what the fuck we doing. Okay? You starting to go to the gym, but you surround yourself around people that are not physically active. They gonna have something to say about it. It may be some slick remark. It may be a little microaggression here and there. It may be something that you just normally wouldn't hear or normally wouldn't accept, but they gonna say it to let you know that your progress is starting to bother us. You creating content. Somebody gonna say, oh, well, I guess you just an influencer now. Shit like that. Don't let their negative opinions rob you of your progress, okay? You going into the gym. It's going to be some regulars. Them regulars might even have a couple of attitudes with them because there's new people hogging up the machines. Well, guess what, man? The same way that you started working out, it's the same way that I want to start working out, you know? And I apologize that I'm in your way, but at the same time, I got to get mine too. And I don't know who need to hear this, but you got to get yours. These people that be making these negative opinions and got shit to say about you, they going to go on about their lives. And you let that opinion and that negative feedback dictate how you supposed to be moving. So I will say this again, and I don't know who need to hear this. Don't let these people's negative opinions rob you of your progress. Next, you not being flexible is going to rob you of your goal, okay? A lot of times we come into a situation with this plan in our head and forget that we still have fucking reality. All right. And what I mean by that is that you said that you wanted to X, Y, and Z. This is the plan that you said that you wanted to execute on. You said that you wanted to lose weight by the summer, but shit fucking happens. You missed a couple of days at the gym. And because you missed a couple of days at the gym, now you all of a sudden want to quit, but you're not even throwing some rationality at yourself that you had all of these taskers that you have to take care of, that an emergency happened, that reality fucking happened, that life happened. So instead of not acknowledging that, you just said, you know what? I'm not going to fucking do it. You got to just be flexible. This is new. On days where I would say to myself all the time, I got to record on a Sunday. I got to record on a Sunday. Guess what? Shit may happen on a Sunday. I might have duty. A Marine might call me. I might have a family emergency. I might be out at an event that took longer, okay? And I might miss my deadline. So now I done miss my Sunday record. I got to take that into consideration. And either A, I got to let my audience know, like, hey, Monday's episode is going to be delayed. And then I got to hurry up and record for Monday. I got to be flexible. I got to be flexible with my life. This is new. You got to understand that you have to be flexible. Shit may not work out the way that it's supposed to. You may miss a timeline. You may miss something. You may have to rearrange or adjust fire. And if you are not willing to do that and you are rigid instead of flexible with it, I promise you, dude, you're going to eventually just quit doing it. And lastly, man, and I don't know who need to hear this, dude, and I cannot stress this enough. Regardless of how anybody feels about a New Year's resolution, it's your opportunity to make the best decision for yourself, okay? So on January 1st, if you feel like what you're saying, these are the goals that you want to have for your life, that ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't let somebody who said oh, well, I'm not big on New Year's resolutions dictate what resolution you should have. Fuck them. You got to go into your life and you got to make the best decision for yourself. And just like what I said in the very beginning, my New Year's resolution is to treat myself better, to do things for myself, to make myself smile more, to make myself laugh more, to put myself first. That is what my New Year's resolution was. And if you got a New Year's resolution, don't be shy about it. Let me know what it is. I want to hear.
And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and leave this podcast an honest review because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. Also, don't forget to head on over to TikTok or Instagram and follow me at Meech Speaks. That's right, Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled Meech. Stay motivated, stay healthy. I'm out.